Okie doke. So today we are going to be covering Ernest Timmons. I'm pretty excited about this because it is a shorter segment, and I actually wrote notes. They are available on my other monitor to hopefully keep me on track. I doubt that will work though. I'm also doing a new thing with my microphone, so let me know if this is preferred audio. Ooh, I just saw that spike like crazy when I did a pee. I have a pop socket on the way, so, you know. Anyway, let's just jump into it before I get fucking sidetracked already.
Comes a
Okay, that's gonna be Joker. He's supposed to be in a mid-sized Chevy, he said.
Here comes another suspect who will also try to play this as a big misunderstanding. He's 33-year-old Ernest.
So he's already got one hoodie, or one hand in his hoodie pocket, and I believe that's kind of covering his groin, so he's already leaking insecurity. He has the camera pretty ready to go, which is interesting. So I think that is a dual purpose position right there. One, he's using it as a barrier, a way to distance himself and kind of keep space between him and his actions. And two, as an anchor to keep himself on track, much like my notes.
Ernest Timmons, a mechanic for the United States Air Force,
Oof.
calling himself Joker34.
I don't understand the username. Again, I don't read the chats. I refuse to subject myself to that. So I just go from the context of the uploads that I find. So I'd really love to know a little bit of context behind the username, if there is any, or if his just little wired brain came up with it off the rock. Off the rock. Good Christ, maybe my brain is wired.
He's been chatting online about having sex with a girl who tells him she's 13.
What do you want me to do?
Whatever you want. But I thought you wanted the real thing. Maybe you're just thinking with my head.
Show me one child that says the word dinking. Even back, I almost gestured here, even back when this was like, what, 2005, 2007-ish? I don't know. Early 2000s. I don't know. Fake. I hate the way PJ chats.
No, I want the real thing. I'm scared to get caught with a minor.
Then don't tell anyone.
Okay, so my takeaway is that the only reason he's not like publicly into children is because it's illegal. You know, he's not like saying, oh, it's bad for you. He's just like, well, what about me? Like, I think if he was in a country or like an alternate reality where there was like no age of consent, he would be publicly just out. Like, he'd be posting about her on his MySpace.
Then the military man asks the decoy for a photo of her breasts.
Do you have a picture of your boobies I could see? Please?
I don't have my camera.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm gonna choose to believe that he used boobies here to make it more silly and less threatening to the child, because remember, this is supposed to be a child. And at that age, it's like the beginning of puberty, you know? Like, you're starting to be more self-conscious of your body, and using boobies instead of like a more quote-unquote grown-up word, you know, like tits or whatever. I feel like that brings it down to a less serious area for the kid. And also maybe it puts him in a childish mindset too. Either way, he's a fucking monster.
Could bring one.
To do what?
I don't know.
And I don't know if that's something PJ is allowed to do, Perverted Justice is allowed to do. That comes across like entrapment to me. So from what I understand, the decoy, the chatter, whatever, is not supposed to, like, legally not supposed to propose any criminal activity. They're supposed to, like, the predator needs to be the one to bring that up. Otherwise, I think Ernest's lawyer could argue that he was set up by perverted justice to enrich the drama of To Catch a Predator or to like boost views. And I think he could have, like, the lawyer could have that evidence tossed out of court, and then, once you've discredited one piece of evidence, I feel like it'd probably be easier to get the rest of it tossed out, like a poisoning of the well.
And here he comes, camera at the ready. Online, he told the decoy that he wouldn't be able to
I feel like he was walking so slow, like so stiff right
stay
there.
for long.
Glad you can make it.
No idle chit-chat for this man. He wastes no time making it clear he wants to get busy.
Yeah, he's still, like I said, I'm doing a new audio thing, so I feel like I'm spiking the audio every fucking second. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I feel like he's walking really slow, as if his own body is trying to stop him, or he's trying to, I don't know, draw it out before he actually goes to do it. Because he's terrified, from the start, he's terrified to do this. He has taken his hand out of his pocket, though. I think he's reassured when he sees her, and it's not, immediately a cop or immediately obvious that it is a decoy.
Down. I made some brownies. You want some?
Oh, no.
Are you sure?
Yeah, can we just...
Yeah, I think this is him using both hands right here. He transfers it into the other hand, briefly has it in both hands, but then starts to use the other hand to, gesture off to, go upstairs. But I think he's using that as an anchor, like I said, to keep himself on track, because I think he put himself on a time limit. I could be confusing him with another predator. That's very possible. But I believe it was Ernest Timmons here. I almost called him Tim. That he actually made a date after this with another decoy. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments, but I think that's why he's using this to keep himself on track, because he's got a busy night ahead of him.
go upstairs for a little bit?
Oh, let's just hang out here for a little bit. Why don't you sit down?
Okay. Well, I need
Just
to get
sit
going here
down.
in a
It'll
little
be
bit.
fine. Yeah. His eyes were bugging out of his head.
And he only says, I gotta get going here in a little bit, and that could mean a million things. But I wonder if I'll have to, maybe I'll remember to throw it in here to see if I found out my own question.
So I knew he was either gonna do something really quick or he was just gonna take off.
Well, weren't you gonna bring me lotion or anything?
Oh, that's such a sudden grab, and I want to know what startled him. Because something, and maybe it's just he's got too much nervous energy, and he felt the need to just try to get it out by standing. Hopefully, get rid of some energy there.
Oh,
it just
no,
felt.
I don't have any.
Oh, because I thought you were gonna teach me some stuff. That's all.
Yeah, something about those moments there tipped him off, and I don't know what it was. And that's impressive, and I think it's because he's in the military. I don't know what he did in the military, but regardless of what you do, you get some training, so far as I understand. But yeah, so the decoy, she offers brownies, and she starts going through her little script, but Ernest here, he fucking dismisses that right off the bat. I think he's panicked enough here, but has enough of his, training and, cognitive function to remember that, he's got a plan, take pictures, get out, that's it. And I think that his intensity throws, I think this is Casey, off her game a bit. To me, she seems a little more clunky in her movements for a few seconds. She doesn't know what to say or do, but she gets back on her feet pretty quickly. It's just, I think Ernest is already, he's aware. Not necessarily the full extent, but he knows that something, capital S, is wrong.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, actually, everything is.
Oh. Okay, so I'm glad I paused it here. So he is about to do this very funny little hop, and it just reminds me of just a little, like a cartoon of a kid getting caught. And they're like screeching to a halt after they run away.
Just fine, but I need you to have a seat right there.
Yes, sir.
Put the camera down. Just have a seat, please. Have a seat.
Now,
Oh, already just already heavy breathing.
watch how fast his story changes from a man appearing eager to take photos of our decoy to a mere victim of circumstance.
Sir, my friend told me to come here to take.
Okay, so the fucking switch in his voice. So he starts out in this conversation with Casey in a very, like, a deeper tone. And then immediately, like, the second Chris comes out, his throat constricts. He just panics like a kid caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And what's interesting actually is a lot of the self-preservation tactics we develop are developed around childhood, and when we're under extreme duress, we tend to regress back to those techniques, like most of the time without even realizing. And honestly, I just smacked an Amazon box. Honestly, like looking at how Ernest just immediately crumbled, I don't think he's gotten away with much, if any, like misbehavior in his life. Oh, and I do want to mention, I'm not going to rewind because I don't want to make this too long of a video. I know I babble and I'm long-winded, and that can be very boring, so I wanted to try to get more succinct at it. But the second Chris comes out, Ernest's chin drops down to protect his throat, and that is a hugely primal reaction to feeling threatened.
Bring the camera and.
Your friend told you to come here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so obviously lots of editing going on. We had Chris's voiceover. I couldn't hear what they were saying, and I'm thinking it was along the lines of Ernest over here saying, I want to go, I think I need to leave now, and Chris using his weird, influential magic, I don't know, to get him to take a seat. So Ernest is also, he's using the palms up, kind of empty palms gesture here, and that, I think, combined with the big arched eyebrows, the really high eyebrows, the higher voice, the quote-unquote open body language, like his legs are open, he's not covering his crotch, you know, he hasn't leapt up. I think that's saying, like, I've got nothing, like, I'm not a bad guy, please believe me. But I'm thinking, so we're
Who's
about
your
to...
friend?
Yeah. So this cuts to, like, a chest-up kind of chest-up angle. And I think when this is happening, unless we're seeing his hands, they're covering his groin. And I think I get a little bit of validation in a few frames.
A guy named Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin.
man. Okay, so I am, I think, gonna, rewind, and I want you to watch his eyes just throw themselves back and forth. And note that that's the speed his brain is trying to move right now. That's the that's the RPM right now. So, like, he's desperate for any excuse.
And who's your friend?
A guy named Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah.
And what's Kevin's last name?
I don't know.
How long have you known him?
Okay, so the eyes, like I said, they're darting left and right, back and forth. They do that left-right cycle 6 times. 6 times. And he's accessing, as if I'm... Most of the time, most people, I believe it was like 80 some odd % of people, when they're recalling information, the left side of the brain is recalling facts and like logical thinking, and then the right side of the brain is for emotions and storytelling. And unless the editing like has flipped everything around, I believe he's accessing his storytelling side first before throwing himself over into logic and back and forth. And that's just too much internal editing. He's trying to figure out what's going on, what he should say, what this random guy knows. For all he knows is like a cop, because he's got paperwork and everything. Um, yeah, he's losing his mind. He's also just generally, oh, first of all, just a bad liar. But he's also having a very hard time breathing evenly here. His nostrils, we saw in a few frames back. I won't rewind again. But we'll see again, and I'll try to point out if I notice it in time. His nostrils are flaring, and he does these great big heaving breaths. And I don't think what he realizes is that each time he does this, he's breathing in his chest. He's not breathing in his diaphragm, and that is leaving him with less and less oxygen each time he does that, which is going to escalate the panic. Um, I think he's, so the decoy mentioned that his pupils were very large and that he, was sweating a lot and such. And so I believe he had alcohol issues. I might be remembering right, and that he also had pill or drug issues. Um, so I'm not gonna be surprised if he's a few avocados short of a full bowl of guacamole, Um, but that doesn't. This lack of oxygen, this decreasing oxygen with each breath, is not gonna help his lizard brain, which is already freaking out. That's gonna just, like I said, escalate his panic.
This friend Kevin.
We just met on the base.
So you're going to come in, and you have your camera ready, and you say to the girl who you think is 13, or your friend thinks is 13,
I
that
don't
you want to
know
run
exactly.
up.
Oof. Okay, so I wanted to wait until we had a little bit of more of his defense before I commented. I guess defense is a loose term for it. So, his base buddy, named Kevin, told him to get his camera, drive however long it took to get there, take pictures of a minor, and then what? Like, I don't think he's ever said that part. Like, I don't think he got to that part of the defense. And maybe later on, he got a lawyer or something. No, I think he died before he could go to trial, actually. So yeah, I don't think he ever thought that far ahead, period. I don't think he thought he was going to get caught. Or maybe he was like, it's not fucking worth it. Like, I'm getting shipped out to Iraq I think he said Iraq, in a week and a half. I'm probably going to die over there. Fuck it. Like, this was his fuck it, whatever, which is sick. Like, this is my fuck it would be like, I don't know. I actually haven't thought of that, so I can't comment on that. That's a deep conversation to have, and I don't have notes for that. I'm digressing already. He might have had the bare bones a friend sent me in his pocket before walking into the Sting House, but I'm leaning towards that being a, like, thought up of the moment type deal. And, like, okay, so let's pretend his stupid, blatant lie wasn't a stupid, blatant lie. Like, for a second, let's pretend it's not the truth. Like, it is the truth, I mean. Why would he do that? Why would he do that for, like, anyone? But specifically, why would he do that for a friend that he's likely not that close to? Like, if Kevin was a real dude, I don't think Ernest would have been that close to him, because he didn't even know the dude's last name. So even if my closest friend, like, came up to me and was like, dude, you gotta go take pictures of a minor, like, nudes of a minor for me, I'd, like, look them in the eyes while I'm calling the FBI. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking reporting them. Like, that's sickening. I wouldn't go do it. Like, the defense he thought up just momentarily, like, out of the blue, is not a good one. Christ.
You want to run upstairs because you only have a little bit of time. Do you see why this does not make sense?
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm that we have a lot of editing, and that we're missing a lot of the interview. Ernest went from like a mild sweat, he was like kind of shiny, like over here, but now. Good God. And it's kind of a shame that they left so much on the editing room floor, you know? Like, I just love to watch him squirm more. I want to see what other bullshit he tries to come up with, you know? But I'm long-winded, and I don't need to subject you folks to that.
Yes, sir. I perfectly. Why do you think I'm just as stunned as you are?
Well, you're stunned because you got caught. That's why you're stunned. Because I think you're telling a big fat...
Christ. Okay. Okay, so there is a common myth that if you're telling the truth, you'll make consistent, direct eye contact, and that's been found to be untrue, or not really consistently true. Like I said before, when we're recalling memories, our eyes move around, accessing different parts of our brain. And when we're trying to get someone to buy our lie, we tend to keep more direct eye contact. And Ernest is like begging Chris to buy his lie so he can go home and not be in trouble.
Lie to me right now.
I'm not telling you lies, sir.
It doesn't make sense.
That's my favorite. Oh, please believe me.
I know. You are.
Oh, you're stunned because you got caught. That's why you're stunned. Because I think you're telling a big fat lie to me right now.
I'm not telling you lies, sir.
It doesn't make sense.
I know.
Okay, so obviously this whole fucking interview cracks me up because it's so ridiculous. God, look at that drop of sweat. God damn. Anyway, so the reason I have a hard time laughing specifically here is, is when he's like, Chris goes, that doesn't make sense. And Ernest was like, I know, it's bullshit. Fuck. They never, it's rare that they're able to keep themselves, like, on the same track. Like, they keep their one alibi defense, whatever you want to call it, like...
As the Air Force mechanic sweats profusely, he reveals he's about to be deployed to Iraq.
I leave in about a week and a half.
And so you stop by here for a quickie with a 13-year-old before you...
Okay, so, if Ernest hasn't offended before, I do believe that being deployed could have been the stressor that sent him down this path. Some might argue that the military takes advantage of undereducated young people, just like Ernest here. I keep wanting to call him Tim. Every time I say Ernest, I say it hesitantly because in my heart of hearts, his name is Tim. Fuck it, I'm calling him Tim. I don't think those people would argue that because of that manipulation, Ernest's actions, I just went back on my word here, Tim's actions are suddenly okay. I don't think that they would make that correlation.
You went over to Iraq?
No, sir, I was a joke.
It turns out...
No, sir, I was a joke. Yeah, alright, he's got one there. 1 point for Timmy boy.
The 33-year-old military man is married. His wife's picture is on the camera.
Do you have kids?
I have a kid, yes.
You have a kid. How old is your kid?
She's 7.
Why would a...
Okay, so I'm not laughing that the kid is 7. Obviously, that's terrible and heartbreaking, and I hope MSNBC or NBC, whoever does Dateline, still, pays for her therapy. I'm cracking up at Chris's. Well, why?
Man in the military with a wife and child at home come hustling nervous into this house with a camera and ask a girl you think is 13 to go upstairs to do what?
I don't know. It's
You don't
what
know.
No matter how
God, he is just sweating buckets.
implausible the man's story is, he sticks to it.
Oh, here's something.
Oh, so he's consistent with his bullshit. Okay.
You seem concerned about seeing those TV shows of people getting caught. Have you watched those shows?
No, sir.
Okay, so I think these heaving sighs that we're getting are grief sighs. I think he's realizing his actions are kind of catching up with him, and that things are about to become very public, that he would probably rather not do so. Or it could be like a pre-confession sigh. I did have that idea the first time around that I watched it. I read it as like, okay, here's what happened. Kind of like alright, I'm confessing my sins to the priest and to be absolved, But now I'm not really getting that. I think that is more of a grief sigh, because of the way you don't always see it from every angle or every shot here, but he's got he's got the grief muscle engaged in his forehead. I believe. I am a hobbyist. I could be wrong.
Because you're about to be on one. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet kids online for sex.
Please, sir.
Yes, cry, little bitch. Yes, and yeah, if I rewound it a little bit, you could very clearly see Duchenne's grief muscle there, very, very clear. Oh, and I love the begging. That's so fantastic. Oh,
I was told as a friend to come over. That was it.
And that's your story.
That's my story.
And you're sticking to it.
that's my story. Not that's what happened.
Yes, sir.
Now he'll get a chance to tell his story to the police.
Police department, down on the ground. Down on the ground. Let go of your camera, easy.
Yes, sir.
Let go, arms behind your back.
Oh, I love it. Look at that. He is just heartbroken. Good, you sick fuck. Oh, man. And that is also, I feel, very close to a primal wail. Like a child crying or an ambulance sighing, like siren. It does like the wow. I can't do it. My voice is fucked. But it goes like down and then up and then down, and it shows, and it just means clear and extreme distress.
Relax.
And apparently the police don't buy his story either. After he's arrested, police question him, and later he's brought before a judge who sets his bail at $50,000.
Mr. Timmons, your charges are attempted sexual assault and attempted luring. Bail is set at $50,000, no 10.
Perfect. I don't know if that audio at the end is copyright, so I'm going to cut it there. But I love that tucked chin, that very shamed look. Damn. Love it. Fantastic. Alright, so that is the end of the video. Thank you so much to Saul for the upload. I tried to make this one shorter than my Jesse Velez analysis. I know, like I said, I talk a lot, and I get sidetracked often, so I did watch this video beforehand, like I said, and I did take notes. Hopefully, I've come across less of a rambly stoner. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
And